I'm expecting good things from Tottenham. We move on to react to some of the top soccer headlines going on in the football world, and we have to start off with Fenerbahce. They have been knocked out of Champions League play. Um, they were able to push it into extra time, going up against French club Lille. Lille. Fenerbahce was with the goal from Bafode Diakite in the 91st minute, an own goal by Bafode Diakite. They were able to get it into extra time, or they were able to get it into it was an extra time, and they weren't able to get the win. The decisive penalty came. By the way, this game was being played in the Sokro Sorokoglu in Turkey, home game for Fenerbahce. Jonathan David, he was able to net that clinching penalty in the 118th minute after controversial penalty that required VAR to intervene. VAR intervened. The Spanish referee gave the penalty, and David took it. Mourinho, he was angry about it, and now Fenerbahce are going to be playing in the Europa League, and speaking about the Europa League, Mourinho said Fenerbahce can win the Europa League if refs improve. Specifically talking about what happened in that 2023 Europa League final as Roma were defeated by Sevilla. It's very, very clear how Mourinho has felt about that game, talking about that defeat. And he's been very, very critical of the referee. I, in times, have also been very, very critical on Anthony Taylor over the past, especially. There's been a lot of bad moments at Chelsea. I know Mourinho has suffered some of those as a Chelsea manager. So, when he was talking about it, the defeat, when he was talking about the defeat, and during this post-game press conference, he said, "We lose economically because the Champions League obviously is an important boost to the club, and we lose the chance to play against the biggest teams in the world. But we would never win the Champions League. We would never reach the Champions League final, never. But we go to Europa League, and in Europa League, if I don't want to say the rest, I prefer to stay on the ifs. But if we do great Europa League, if you want to know about the ifs, I invite you to watch Roma Sevilla in the Europa League final, and you'll understand the ifs. But we can do great Europa League with if. If I can't speak more than the if not, I am in trouble." Which is kind of, which is very similar to the famous lines he had at Chelsea. "If I speak, I'm in big trouble, big trouble." We all know those sort of lines. If you don't know, you can go on YouTube and find it. It's an iconic Jose Mourinho moment, and it's disappointing because we want to see Jose Mourinho playing, not playing, but being a manager of a Champions League tie once again. But also at the same time, I think this gives them a realistic sort of output in the fact that I think Fenerbahce has a better chance to really compete in the Europa League. And I think they can be a really threatening team in the Europa League. The Europa League does have teams like Manchester United in and out. So I think it'll be very interesting to see the Europa League next season. I think Fenerbahce will be an outfit. Columbus were able to end Inter Miami's Leagues Cup title defense. Columbus grew. They came from 2 goals down. Came back into the game. Christian Ramirez got the first goal. Diego Rossi was able to score twice. And the reigning MLS champions were able to stay alive in the Leagues Cup, move on to the next round after coming back from behind to defeat Inter Miami 3-2. Inter Miami, they're obviously without Messi, who has been out of it, hasn't been involved after suffering an ankle injury in that Copa America final. So yes, he won't be involved. I mean, Atletico Madrid is out. Sheffield United, Inter Miami is out. Sheffield United bounced Wrexham from the Carabao Cup. Um, Julian Araujo, the Barcelona player, the Mexican international, he will be joining Bournemouth from Barcelona. Um, he's American born, dual national, but representing Mexico. Julian Araujo, he's gonna join the Premier League side Bournemouth for around £10 million. It's been confirmed by both sides, Barcelona and Bournemouth. Araujo actually joined Barcelona in 2023, but he never played a competitive game for them. When Bournemouth's chief executive Neil Blake was talking about the signing, he said he's a young player with high potential and we're pleased to have beaten a lot of competition for his signature. We believe that we have all the tools here for Julian to build on the quality he already has, and we really look forward to welcoming him to Vitality Stadium. But yes, Araujo, he got a little bit of time in preseason under Hansi Flick, playing against Manchester City a little bit, but he wasn't in Hansi Flick's plan. And now he gets to make that move into his career, which I think is going to be very beneficial in the fact that he's going to be playing minutes game in, game out. And at this sort of age, you need reps. You need sort of, you need to be playing more. You need to build that sort of consistency. In playing in the Premier League, I think is a great experience for him. Really great experience for him in a club that he's going to play a lot. Cole Palmer has signed a 2-year. Let's just get through this. Cole Palmer has signed a 2-year contract extension that ties him to Chelsea until 2033, the Premier League club said on Tuesday. Cole Palmer scored 22 goals for Chelsea this season, 14 of which came from penalties. No, not 14. 9 of which came on penalties, which means 13 goals weren't penalties. Which, yes, 22 goals is a ridiculous record, especially for a player that's not really a striker. He finished second place to Erling Haaland, which is, in terms of goals scored, which is a very good accomplishment for a player that's not a number 9. But if we're being fair, 9 goals came from penalties. So that really, 13 goals is a good season, but it, is not a historic season like 22 goals makes it seem he was. But look, let's be honest. 2033, I think since this new ownership group came in, and I know Todd Bowley, we don't really think he has as much involvement as we thought he originally had. But, since he's came in, since this new ownership agreement, this consortium or whatever, they're handing out contracts like it's baseball. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year deals. This is unbelievable. 2033, we won't even know if Conor Gallagher will be Premier League level at that point in his career in 2033. We don't even know that. Players can fall off. He's only had one season. He's had only one season. There's been plenty of players that had that one season that's completely fallen off. Look at players like Dele Alli. I don't understand this at all. Speaking about this, Cole Palmer, he said, I achieved a lot in my first season here, and hopefully I can continue to experience great things at this club, both on a personal level and in terms of bringing success and trophies to Chelsea. You're trying to give him a pay rise. Why don't you just raise the contract already up there? Why are you extending his deal? It's completely unnecessary. If a big club is going to come in for a player like Conor Gallagher, they're still going to be able to come in and do the deal if Conor Gallagher wants to go. Why are you extending his contract even further out? If you want to give him the raise that he deserves and that he rightfully deserves after that amazing season he had, just raise his salary. Don't extend it. It's unbelievable. And I don't know what Chelsea are doing. I really don't. And, we'll eventually figure out. So we'll see. Hopefully, they don't put us in big trouble as a football club. Premier League, they're going to plan to use AI-powered systems to speed up VAR process. Newcastle, they have to pay superstar money for Gahey, according to sources. 10-man Rangers were able to get were gotten done by Dynamo Kiev. Rangers was gotten done by Domino Kiev. In the Champions League third qualifying round to eliminate Rangers from the Champions League contention and send them into Europa League. I obviously talked about Fenerbahce. They were sunk as well by Lille. Disappointing for those two teams. Wan-Bissaka, he completed his $15 million move to West Ham. Now he's going to be a starter game in, game out, which is a good move for him. It's also a good move for Manchester United, getting out of the players that they don't fancy for the football club. It's been a while now that Wan-Bissaka has not been fancied at United. The fact that he's still there up to this point shows, the lack of efficiency United operate under in terms of getting out signings that they don't want, getting rid of players that they don't want, and bringing in players. They've been very, very inefficient in the transfer window. And again, the fact that Wan-Bissaka is just leaving now just shows, just continues to prove that for me. But we conclude today's show. Thank you guys for tuning in to the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. So thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad